in my continuing research on this CitiVan electric vehicle, I just keep getting strange results using a voltmeter across various terminals, and I just don't know what is going on. And so it seems to me that I need to look into this hood area, which seems to be inaccessible. And the main way to do that is to look at removing, or at least getting the dashboard out so I can look behind it. So that's what I've been working on here. And it looks like the previous owner, or maybe someone before them, was doing stuff to try and modify the wiring in this thing. So there's various odd things going on, and I just don't know what I'm looking at here, because I don't even have a functional circuit diagram to look at to even know what it should look like. So anyway, here's the dash as far as I've got it disassembled so far. So I'm getting it pretty far out here, and it's been a bit of a challenge to do this because for some reason things seem really short, and like the wires are really tight, they're not very long, and I do not know if this is the way it came from the factory or if this was someone modifying it. One of the main points of tension on this is on the far right over here. There's a charging indicator and an ammeter, and I figured out that, well, there's just enough room for me to get my hand back in here and pull the connectors off. Then I've documented what I've disconnected, and then I just simply worked the sockets out of this because they're just push-in. I'm sorry, hold on. There we go. They're push-in connectors mounted on the back here with little spring clips. So if I work them out, I can plug stuff back in where it was. So here we have the charge indicator, which was in the top. That's separate now. And you see how short these wires are. This is about where it would be placed in the dash, and there's just no slack here. But then when I start looking around in here, why doesn't it have no slack? I'm not sure, but okay, now I can get my hand in here. Look, that's taped onto the frame with electrical tape. And if now we can actually go a little further down in here, we can look at that box, wherever the heck that is. There's electrical tape taping that to the frame as well. I doubt that it came from the factory that way, so I just don't know. And the other item down here is this little ammeter that I have pulled out and then plugged back in again, and that also has extremely short wires that are just long enough to get to where it needs to be on the dash, and then there's really nothing more for slack. So this was the start of getting access back here. And then the next things I discover is that there are wires that are parts of this dash which were zip tied to the frame up here. So I can't open this because the wires that are part of this are zip tied on. And yet when I pull these wires off, I cut the zip tie and I loosen them. Now I discover that these aren't plugged into anything. So I've got loose ends here, and they're disconnected when I look back here. So I don't know. Okay, now there is one wire that I disconnected, but I labeled it. I know where it goes. This loose wire right here goes to right here, and I will repair that. But then also looking around, here's a wire taped together with electrical tape, and there's more stuff that's hacked up. If I look further down back behind here, let's see if I can see that. There's a piece of electrical tape. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Yes, it's on that wire that's wiggling right there. There's a piece of electrical tape on that. So I just don't know what the status is of this thing, what condition it's in. Also, it looks like there's supposed to be wiring harness disconnect so that the whole dash comes out as one piece, but why then are there wires that seem to be spanning right now? I see wires that span from down there straight up to here. They're not part of this wiring harness, which once again makes me wonder if this is more hacking that someone was doing on this electrical system. So even if I were to find a diagram, I don't even know how accurate it would be for what is actually in here. So this project is becoming more and more complicated as time goes by. And then also we can see down in here where that box is. I still don't know what this box is, but I do at least see that it's got screws around the outside of it, and it looks like there aren't screws on the opposite side, so taking the screws off around that should show me what's inside. Also, I tucked a work light down in here, and I can now see that, oh look, there's a black box right here which looks like a battery charger, and there's no screws holding it to the plastic frame down there. Instead, it looks like someone took construction adhesive and glued it right to the frame. So I can't even take that out to look at it. It's glued in place. I don't even know if it's possible to separate it without cracking the plastic on here. So this is just becoming really complicated. I just would like it to drive forward and back. I don't even care about most of these accessories, but I don't know if that can be fixed at all. So anyway, I'm going to keep looking around, see what I can find.